welcome to ET Now Hangouts with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, today is a very special episode because today's episode is a masterclass in health, fitness, holistic wellness, and above all, mental well-being. Well, I'm in conversation with Luke Coutinho, who is a best-selling author for 4 books. He is the founder of Luke Coutinho Holistic Healing Systems, Preventive Healthcare and Diseases. He is an icon in the field of health and wellness with a massive social media following. Luke, welcome to ET Now Hangouts. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Luke, I want to begin by asking you, you're an icon in the field of health, wellness and fitness. As someone who's very passionate about health and wellness, myself, I want to ask you what motivates you, what drives your passion, where does it come from, how did you get interested into health, wellness and fitness?
So I think it starts from my family. My parents established this culture of health when we were young. We had a lot of sports and games and exercise time and walking time in the morning and boring cucumbers and carrots part of our lunchbox. But it was great.
That sounds like my home.
But it was great. I think we grew up in that culture. And then when I moved into the field of nutrition and integrative medicine, I think the driving force is, number one, I'll be honest, I love to feel good. Yeah. You know, I think feeling good is a human thing and we should feel good, and that's what happens when you maintain your fitness levels. And then I think working with cancer patients, we understand that you never take life for granted and that there's so much we can do to prevent, and you can still have a lot of fun. You can still have a lot of fun and maintain your fitness levels.
Right. You know, Luke, you mentioned a very interesting thing in your answer that, you know, that culture of health and fitness was instilled in you while you were growing up at homes, right? Firstly, when people come to you, we are a show for the young and the restless. What are the problems of the younger generation today? What are the health concerns that people come to you with? How can we address it? And are you seeing that more and more people are perhaps not being taught this at home? Do you feel that?
I think there's a lot more awareness in our country, but what the biggest problem right now is human behavior. Like go back 10 years ago, we didn't have this kind of awareness that we have today. None of us. Go back 15 years ago, no one knew about it. But the point is we have a lot of information. That's one problem too. Too much of information, too many trends and fads. And the current generation, I'm not just going to talk about the youngsters, everyone. We're primed for instant gratification, quick fixes. We don't want to put in effort. And if I have to add that statement, there are no shortcuts to health. No matter what anyone does. So some of the most common problems that we have, and we handle the youth across the country, number one, smoking-related issues. Vaping, smoking, people have to understand that, of course, everyone thinks smoking is cancer, and it's beyond that. Vaping drops the testosterone levels of a guy, leading to every other problem with low testosterone. And it messes up with the hormones of young girls. And what is the biggest problem we have? PCOS, PCOD, hair problems, skin problems, extra body fat. So they need to start looking beyond these problems. Then the next thing that we have, juvenile diabetes.
Absolutely,
huge,
yes.
because of the availability of junk food. See, it's no one's fault. 10 years, 15 years ago, you didn't have this. Today, you're constantly being shown ads. It's right there. It's convenient. It's easy. The price points are low. So it's the battle of the human being against marketing at the end of the day. It's a tough situation that they're in, but we need to create awareness. Are parents creating this awareness at home? They are, because they are more aware. But I think social media is destroying it for everyone.
Yes.
In a huge, huge way. People are more confused. At the same time, the problem is not social media. You know, there are people who take great content from social media and change their lives. And there are people who follow the wrong accounts and do the wrong thing. So these are some of the problems. High blood pressure.
Right.
It's huge.
Right. So I want to talk to you about social media. You mentioned social media. You know, it has led to a lot of competition, a lot of clutter, and also it leaves you with a feeling of inadequacy in a lot of ways, especially for young people who are more impressionable. There are some unrealistic standards of beauty or the way you look or the way you should be. Are those one of the problems that the youth is facing right now?
That's a huge problem. All generations, not just the youth, are facing this. Because what happens, right, when you see a lot of these fake bodies, fake skin, fake hair, okay, what happens is it's, again, marketing. Now, you think you have an inadequacy, okay, and there's a product to sell. Immediately, look at the trend. Whatever social media shows you that you are inadequate in, there is a corresponding product or a corresponding service. So, I mean, that's how business works, but we need to be smarter than that. And we need to figure out, like certain governments around the world are insisting that if you have a filter on your picture, or if it's not real, you need to put that so people don't get confused. Because the system wins. It's all about dopamine, right? What's the whole deal about social media? We watch it, our dopamine increases. That's a neurotransmitter, feel good. Now it comes down, I need more. And I'm scrolling more and more, filling my subconscious mind with most of the stuff which is not real. And I'll give you a simple example. You see people on social media and then you meet them in real life. They look absolutely different, absolutely different.
Those layers of filters.
Yeah, but that's what I think we need to wake up to, the fact that virtual, it could be entertainment for you, but it is not real.
Right, absolutely. But speaking of this problem being everybody's problem, not just the youth's problem, also the time spent on social media, scrolling is another problem. How do we cut down on that? So if on an average, you say spending like 6 hours on social media, how do you cut it down to say 3 hours?
Discipline and consistency, because you're fighting a neurotransmitter like dopamine. The more you scroll, the more you will want to. It's like junk food. The more you eat junk food,
it's
the
addictive.
more, yes, your body craves it more. So I'm not here to say get off social media. I'm here to say go in with intention. Why am I going on to social media today? And if it's just, I've had a tough day and I just want to scroll, put a timeline to it. 15, 20 minutes. So you still do it. But cut it off, otherwise the system wins. And that's how we can bring a 6 hours down to a 3 hours. And at the same time, I always tell people, align your life goals and your purpose with social media. So if 6 hours isn't aligned with the goal you're trying to achieve, that should inspire you to reduce that time.
No, that's very interesting, set out an intention. So which means that if I want to enhance my knowledge and that's why I'm going on social media, then I'm only watching and channelizing my energy towards that content also, right? Exactly. Right, very interesting. Also on social media, because of course it's given rise to the feeling of inadequacy and a lot of product marketing that's happening on social media. There are a lot of people, of course, who are left feeling inadequate, not feeling up to the mark. Grass is always greener on the other side. A lot of body shaming also happening on social media. So when we talk about body positivity or weight, and I think weight and obesity is something that a lot of younger people are dealing with today. How do you develop a holistic routine to lose weight, at the same time not compromising on on diet or not getting into or influenced by what's being shown on social media?
So great. So first I want everyone watching this to change that word from weight to fat. It's very easy to lose weight. We can lose muscle mass, water weight, and not real fat. So we're focusing on fat loss. What does the human body need to burn fat? Number one, muscle. So my exercise should revolve, do your cardio, but you should challenge muscle. The more muscle you build, the faster you will lose fat and keep it off you. Otherwise, you have the yo-yo diets where people try different things. That's number one. Number two, clearly your food. I'm here to be practical. 90% natural, 10% junk. Or, of course, if you're sick, then you can reduce that. Or if you're really disciplined, go 100%. Number three, sleep. You cannot burn body fat if you are sleep deprived because you have a hormonal imbalance. And the fourth is chronic stress. If you're chronically stressed, your body's not designed to burn fat. It's designed to hold on to it because it'll use it as energy because it doesn't know when your stress is going to end. So these are things that we can actually look at, the simplest things. And you don't have to do crazy workouts. You can do simple workouts that challenge your muscle, and then you can do your cardio, whether you like to swim, you like to walk, you like to jog, you like to run. But everything is interconnected. I can be on the best diet and best exercise, but I'm sleep deprived. I will not lose weight. So how do I put these little pieces of the puzzle together? And now fat loss doesn't become a struggle. Your body allows fat to be used as a source of fuel. And one more point, in our country, we're carb heavy.
Oh, absolutely. Indians love carbs.
And it's not a problem. We shouldn't go extremely low carb. It's not necessary for everyone. But when we look at our plate, there can be carbs, but there should be more veggies, more protein, and more fats. So if we can achieve this, in a week I can guarantee you people will start to see they're losing inches. Now that's a good sign, not the weighing scale. Because I can lose muscle mass and still lose weight. So that's how we look at fat loss. There are no shortcuts.
There are no shortcuts.
And if there are, they have all the worst side effects.
Absolutely. No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
But I want to touch upon a very important point that you mentioned, and that is sleep. Why is sleep so important? Not just in terms of losing weight, but also in terms of, say, healing a disease. Why is sleep so important?
So in our field of medicine, okay, you have nutrition, exercise, sleep, and emotional wellness. Which one do you think is the most important? We would think nutrition and exercise. It's emotional wellness and sleep at the top.
Wow.
Because emotional wellness, if I'm stressed out, I can't sleep.
Right.
If I can't sleep, my exercise and my nutrition changes, the choices I make. Sleep is important. It is an intelligence given to every human being. Humans are the only species who disrupt sleep cycles. You'll never find a night bird awake in the day, or you'll never find a day animal awake in the night.
Yeah.
So what happens is when we sleep, our immunity gets better. Inflammation falls. Your hormones get naturally balanced. Your skin, your hair, all the things that collagen supplements do, sleep will do for you.
So what is the window for that sleep? It can't be like I'm sleeping at 12 o'clock, waking up, like completing my 8 hours of sleep. There is a window, right? And there's a reason for that. So how many hours of sleep and what is the window?
So number one, it's not the number of hours, it's the depth of sleep.
Okay.
You can sleep 6 hours, deep sleep, wake up feeling fresh, ready to go.
Okay.
Because some people sleep 8 hours and they still wake up tired.
Absolutely.
Now, yes, there is a window, the 2 hours before midnight. Okay, we have circadian rhythms.
Okay.
But I don't want to stress out people who are studying for their exams, university, night shifts. It's perfectly fine. But then you got to flip it over its head. So when you finish your night shift or studying late, you still need to get your sleep. So you got to just turn the model over and do it. But the point is, because it's irrelevant to say 10 o'clock in the night when people are studying or people are working night shifts.
Yeah.
So the window is usually, the best window is 2 hours before midnight. Okay. And in case you're doing a night shift or starting late, just make sure that you get that time after that. So you wake up a little later. You don't sacrifice the morning sleep and then try to sleep later, the next day. So that's how it is.
How can someone who has insomnia or and I think most of us are, because we are on our social media, we are on our phones. How can you ensure that at least from our end, we get a good night's sleep? What are the prerequisites or like small little changes that you can make to perhaps get a good night's sleep?
Simple. I know everyone wants to be on social media. Start with 30 minutes before bedtime. Put your gadgets off. Use that 30 minutes to journal, talk to your partners, or just sit in silence, pray. There are so many things you can do in 30 minutes. Eventually, you will make it 1 hour automatically. Automatically. 2, make your room as dark as possible. Now, in Mumbai, that may be a little bit difficult with light pollution. Get an eye mask or roll up a t-shirt, cover your eyes. The darker it is, the deeper you will sleep. Number 3, deep breathing 5 minutes before bed, because deep breathing moves you from sympathetic to parasympathetic. The 4th thing, if you have a stressful day the next day, write everything down that you need to do before you sleep, because the mind's thinking, oh, what do I need to do when I wake up? All of that. Write it down. Organize. Empty the clutter onto a journal or into a piece of paper. These are the best things. And of course, keep your meal, a gap between your last meal. You don't want to get into bed and your carbs are breaking down to energy 2 hours later. So these are the simple things that all of us can do. It doesn't cost money. It's free. It just requires a little bit of discipline and consistency.
So what, according to you, are the 4 pillars of holistic health and wellness?
Balanced nutrition. That means you and I are both different. Okay, carbs may suit me. It may not suit you. I may need more protein. You may need less. It's called bio-individuality. That's why we say eat according to your body type, your day, what kind of work you do, and of course your genetics. I mean, you got to look, if you come from a farmer's family which was carb heavy, that worked great for you 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Today you're not doing the work that your parents did. You're sedentary. So eat according to that. The second pillar is adequate movement or exercise. Not too much, not too little. So adequate. What does my body need? It needs mobility. It needs flexibility, it needs strength, endurance, stamina. So now what would this give me? A little yoga, walking, lifting weights. You don't want to lift weights, body weight. Push-ups, pull-ups, everything that trains all of these things, that's all you need to do. So movement. Then sleep, like we said, it's the depth, not the quality. I mean, it's the quality, not the quantity. And last is your emotional state of mind. These are the 4 pillars of holistic health. You're trying to prevent a disease, you're trying to recover from one, you're trying to come out of a depression as well. Even if you're on meds, to come out of it eventually, the meds are not going to do it alone.
Absolutely.
You need to put these 4 pillars in your life.
And well, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. You don't go anywhere. There's lots more coming up.
I think I've grown over a period of time. The initial problems were such that one would like to even commit suicide and say you can't manage it. Over a period of time, you realize God is there with you. If you're honest, you have integrity, you haven't cheated anybody, you have worked your level best, something saves you. And the funniest part, I want to tell you about karma.
New Hawkins Tri-ply stainless steel. Food doesn't burn or stick. So good. Cleaning is so easy. New Hawkins Tri-ply stainless steel. Try it.
खाद्यान्न वितरण में पारदर्शिता, गरीबों को सही गुणवत्ता तथा वजन का राशन। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा शुरू की गई प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना से उत्तर प्रदेश के करोड़ों गरीब परिवारों को मिल रहा है निशुल्क खाद्यान्न। उत्तर प्रदेश में योगी सरकार ई-पॉस मशीनों द्वारा कर रही है फ्री राशन का वितरण। ई-पॉस मशीनों द्वारा लाभार्थी को उतना ही राशन दिया जाता है जितनी यूनिट राशन कार्ड में दर्ज होती है। कम मात्रा होने पर मशीन खाद्यान्न के तौल की स्वीकृति प्रदान नहीं करती तथा वितरण मान्य नहीं होता। ई-पॉस मशीनों के उपयोग से न केवल खाद्यान्न की कालाबाजारी और घटतौली की शिकायतों में कमी आ रही है, बल्कि साथ ही राशन कार्ड धारकों को उच्च गुणवत्ता तथा सही वजन का राशन भी प्राप्त हो रहा है। उत्तर प्रदेश में डबल इंजन की सरकार ला रही है प्रदेश के गरीबों के जीवन स्तर में सुधार।
Bro, the MG Comet EV is now at just 6.99 lakhs.
Sure. And this lift is taking us to the moon. Uttari.
Yes, the MG Comet EV 2024 with a 230-kilometer range now starts at an unbelievable price of rupees 6.99 lakhs.
कला कारपेट, जहाँ सिर्फ कालीन नहीं कला बनती है, आइएगा जरूर।
बच्चे अपनी काबिलियत से अक्सर हमारा सर ऊंचा कर देते हैं। HDFC लाइफ, सर उठा के जियो।
मूड चाहे जो भी हो।
हाय, मैं हूँ किंग और मैं कर रहा हूँ अपने फेवरेट गाने रिक्वेस्ट।
अगर आपको आपका गाना रिक्वेस्ट करना है,
स्क्रीन पे दिए हुए नंबर पर
व्हाट्सएप करो हाय।
आपकी रिक्वेस्ट होगी पूरी क्योंकि ये है
द रिक्वेस्ट वाला शो।
तो अपने रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए
स्कैन द QR कोड।
आपकी गानों की रिक्वेस्ट, आपके मैसेजेस और आपकी प्यारी सी फोटो के साथ
देखिए रिक्वेस्ट वाला शो 5 PM onwards.
Only on Zoom.
Guys, I'm getting my new bike tomorrow.
Great. Now I will come with Rohan every day.
Do you have insurance?
What do you think? I have insurance, PUC, everything.
I was talking about life insurance for Sia.
Oh.
Jokes apart, guys. Life shouldn't be all pleasure today and pain tomorrow.
Yeah.
Seriously, life insurance is necessary.
LIC's new Jeevan Anand gives you double benefit, full payment on maturity, and life cover continues lifelong.
Hey, hello. Do you have insurance?
The Economic Times Awards for Corporate Excellence honor the vision, leadership and accomplishments of India's top business and political leaders. An evening of triumph and celebration to honor those who have raised the bar for excellence. Deloitte presents the Economic Times Awards for Corporate Excellence. Watch the awards ceremony on Friday, 15th March.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, किसानों को हर साल रुपए 6,000, 11 करोड़ 80 लाख किसानों को अब तक 2,60,000 करोड़ रुपए की सहायता। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
And I want to come to you about the most important thing, which is the emotional and the mental well-being, as you mentioned, one of the key pillars of holistic well-being. Today, I mean, there's so much of clutter, there's so much of competition, there's social media. How does one navigate through that? How does one maintain their sanity, if you will, or how does one improve on their mental health?
So where, we get emotionally or mentally unstable when we start to connect outwards. Okay. As humans, we need to connect inwards. That's what makes us feel good. So when we're grateful, when we practice gratitude, why do we feel so good? It's an inward connection. The more I spend time on, social media, gossip, rumors, all of that stuff, it's an outward connection. I start to feel in disharmony. Inward connections are always harmony. So when you pray, it's personal, harmony. Right. Your vibration, everything that's a good vibration is an internal connection. Right. Like listening to music, a compliment, appreciation, service. The lowest vibrations are social media, addiction. You're constantly scrolling, complaining, blaming, victim mode. These are the lowest vibrations. Now, how do you change this? How do you move from a low vibration to a high vibration? I always tell people who come to me, if you want to reset, they say, Luke, give us that magic reset. Just get off social media for 5 days. If you can't do 5, 3. Because I want you to now assess how you feel after 5 days. And people feel like, I can't believe I feel this way. Is this what life is supposed to be? So I'm not saying you got to be off it permanently, but it's always good for us as human beings, if we're trying to solve a problem, do it with self-realization, which means I do something, wow, I feel good. I need to do more of this. So then you start to reduce the one thing that is upsetting most of your emotional wellness, which is social media. 2 is your mind. How do we see problems? Today, most people who are stressed are stressing or anxious about things and people that are out of their control.
Absolutely.
So it's a simple flow chart. I get stressed right now, number 1. Is it in my control? Yes. Give your 500%, take help, move to action. No, accept, surrender, or let go. There is no other way. Most people are stuck in category 1, which is trying to control people, or between. They're like, maybe this will change.
Yes.
There is no other way. There is no other way. And that's why when we use meditation, we get clarity of thought that I'm controlling something I can't change, like Mumbai traffic. Can we control it? No, we can't control it, but we can control what we do. How you react to it. How we react to it. Okay, I got 2 hours to go home. How can I use that 2 hours? Call up my mom, listen to a podcast, otherwise complain and feel bitter and lower my vibration. So when it comes to anxiety or stress for anyone, whatever the problem is right now in your life, you need to put it in these 2 buckets. In control, out of control. Yes, in control, give your 500%, do what you can. Out of control, there's only acceptance, surrender, and you can pray as well. But that's about it, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's basically what you feed your mind, but I want to come to what you feed your stomach as well, because, my mom told me that whatever you put inside of you will always show on the outside. I want to talk to you about the fad diets. Do you believe in fad diets firstly, the ketos and the vegan diets of the world? What is your take on diets?
See, keto diets are specific diets for a specific group of people. Okay. Now, if everyone takes it because they heard, hey, keto helped me lose weight, and you do it, you've made it a fad. I would use a ketogenic diet for a patient with epilepsy, brain hemorrhage, tumors, certain cancers. So it has its place. But people misuse the diet because it gives you a quick weight loss.
Okay.
Now, you can use it for weight loss, but is it sustainable?
Is it sustainable?
So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Now, vegan, a lot of people who are lactose intolerant and are not vegetarians will automatically be vegan. But there's the right way of doing it. You don't use diets to fight extremes and say, I'm better than you and this is the only way. You look at what your body needs and you build a diet around that.
Absolutely. Finally, Luke, we are a show for the young and the restless. If you could just help us, say, if I had to go about a day, like a day which is productive, I'm living a healthy lifestyle, and I want the day to be planned in a way where I'm eating good food, I'm working out, I'm sleeping well. How should I go about planning my day? Also achieving my goals, whatever my career goals are.
So I'll give you my example. I don't have a 24-hour day. I have a 16-hour day because I need 8 hours for sleep. I can't function without it. So now that I know I have a 16-hour day, I need to plan efficiently around 16 hours a day. So am I going to put in an hour workout or am I going to put 30 minutes? I have 7 hours of patient consults, 2 or 3 hospital visits, for example. I put that in my time, then I put my meal timings down. I need 20 minutes for a meal if I want to eat mindfully. So now when I break this down, I'm left with almost 4 hours free. Now what do I want to do with that? Now from there, I can decide I want to do this, speak to a friend, maybe watch something on Netflix, because you want to make your life lively as well. But it comes down to planning. But when you've not planned your time, it's going to go everywhere. And then the things that you should make a priority will not find time because you feel out of control.
Very interesting, Luke. And I'm sure with all of that you had to say, a lot had to be learned and a lot of youngsters will learn a lot from what you just said. And here's hoping that there's a lot to take away. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, it is that time of the show where we tell you what's hot for the weekend. So without further ado, let's get into it.